Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick informal style video where I'm having extended thoughts about Skies of Arcadia. It was a pretty interesting game. I mean, I haven't played an RPG like that in a long time where you're just adventuring around. Like, I haven't played an RPG in a long time, and it was nice, but it was real slow, like slower than most RPGs that I've typically played. And I want to get into why. It's definitely because of the encounters. As you're flying around, you will be dealing with a lot of enemies. And as you're walking around like towns or exploring dungeons, it just feels really slow. And the only really cool pacing in the game was in the menus, where you flip through really fast. But other than that, I had a hard time just getting through it. So to actually play the game, I had to I was playing it on an emulator, so I had to change the frames that my computer was showing me, so I was playing in super speed for a while. That ruined it because I didn't get to hear the music or sound effects or anything. So I ended up discovering that I can use action replay codes on my GameCube emulator. So I ended up cheating. To make the game playable, at least for me, I had to make my characters invincible practically, really high level, and I had to make all random encounters disappear. So the only encounters I would have would be story-driven ones. So I would fight guards at doors or bosses, and that was about it. So I just kind of flew through the game all of a sudden. But even still, the game had moments where I would hit a dead end. I'd get to a certain point and they'd be like, oh no, you need to get 1,000,000 gold or whatever the money was in the game. You need to get all this money to be able to advance in the story. We need to build this pirate island. And I did not like that. I wasn't pleased with that. It just all was a very grueling process for me. But the story itself was pretty neat. Specifically, the theme of just a pirate world is cool. I like the idea that you're not quite a hero, but not quite a villain. But the characters themselves, the main characters, they didn't have much depth to them, which was super weird. You would expect to be playing through an RPG, and as the story goes on, you learn more about the main characters and relate to them. But instead, they just are this cookie-cutter hero or heroine, and they're needing characters with depth. And I thought that was pretty weird. I mean, it was cool meeting those characters, the Moby Dick character, the fisherman. He had an extremely heavy weight on the story, but he wasn't always around, wasn't always a significant character. But he had this backstory that just would move you. But Vice did not. Vice was just this kid that liked to adventure. And we as a player like to adventure, and that's probably why we're playing the game, but that's a lame hero. There are even some villains that are just side villains that have more interesting plot and human emotion that's expressed in the story than the main character, and I thought that was a little strange. So in terms of playing a game that has good story, I don't know if this game was necessarily that, but it did have good themes and an interesting world. But things were a little too slow for me, so I think a series of game that might be worth looking into if you saw Skies of Arcadia and you thought it looked interesting. I think another series that might be interesting looking into would be the Tales of series. Totally different combat, but it's got the same style where you're kind of running around in a 3D dungeon and then you go through this linear plot, but it kind of has the illusion of exploring and uncovering a big world. And that's what we want to do when we play a role-playing game. We want to discover a world. But hopefully there's some decent characters along the way. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video. I apologize if this was, you know, too different than what you're used to watching on my channel, if this was possibly too negative about the game, but I thought I'd just sit here and talk a little honestly with you, you know? Just express things. Maybe next time, in these little personal videos, I won't be such a negative Nancy. See you next time.